I believe every business needs a 3-step email marketing plan. I've seen companies that do $500K in revenue and companies doing 15 million in revenue not have a solid plan, and it's hurting their sales, their customers, and most importantly, their word of mouth. Now, when I talk to marketing directors and business owners, everybody will typically say their number one lead source is word of mouth. It's those referrals, like, we do marketing, but word of mouth is what we rely on. And I say, yes, that is how it should be, because that means that you have a great product, you have a great service, you're doing good at what you should be doing, which is helping your customers. But if you want to grow that word of mouth, if you want to take your referral from where it is today and improve it, we need to do a few things. And this is the framework, this is the outline that you can follow to improve your word of mouth and improve your referrals when it comes to sales. All right, here's a side note. If you're not tracking lead source in your CRM or your database, start doing it today, because a year from now, you're gonna be so thankful when you can pull that data and be able to see where your customers and sales are coming from. So go ahead, that's another thing you should start doing. So part one is share something interesting. You need to have a list of all of your past customers and past leads. Maybe you segment it really well, or maybe you don't, and that's fine. I know companies do it both ways. But you need to take those people that you have worked with and you need to share interesting things with them. Now, before you freak out and say, like, I don't have time to write a blog, or I don't have time to do this or that, that's fine. That's not what you need to do. It's you have to be human and not corporate, and you have to speak to a person. You cannot speak to a general group of people. I see way too many folks do broad emails that do very little to connect me as a past customer or a past lead to you as a company. What we would do is we say, hey, last month we did this awesome video for a company. Here's kind of the behind the scenes, here's why they made it, and here's the result of the first few weeks of it. And send that out to our past customers. That's generally interesting to look at what another company is doing and kind of go behind the scenes. And I bet you can do the same thing in your company. If you have a service, you can share a cool project you just completed, or if you have a product, maybe it's some updates you're working on or something new that just came out. If you're asking for what kind of cadence, start it once a month. If you feel like that's too much to commit to, start it once a quarter. The idea here is that you need to do something consistently, and the end result that we are looking for is you are staying in touch to improve your word of mouth and referrals. So step one is the bare minimum of what you need to do. You have to stay in touch with your past clients. Part two is what we call the invite. Now, the natural progression is to go from that sharing of information to a sales email and saying, like, hey, we've got 30% off this weekend. We have a new product coming out, buy it now. So let's take it back to the example of us here at HIT. When we have a list of our past customers, simply send out an invite, and it would look like it came from my Gmail, or maybe Tom, our brand director's email. Like, he just typed it up in Gmail, we're sending it out to those people, and hey, just wanted to see if you had a project coming up. If you do, I've got some time this Friday for a free discovery call to just chat about what you got going on. It's a simple email like that. And there are a few things in there that I want to note that I think that you should do. It's offer a time for that transitional offer of when they should do it, and make sure it is just really chill and very natural. Short, simple, human. That's what we're trying to do with an invite email to a transitional offer. So step one, our company is sending out what we're working on and what we're doing. Step two is a person in our company is sending out an invite to a transitional offer. Those are the first two key steps that you need to do on a regular basis, monthly ideally. If you can't commit to that, commit to at least quarterly of doing those two steps. If you do not have an automation that when you sell something, when that QuickBooks invoice goes out, that they aren't put into something that shares some info to them over the course of 2 to 4 weeks, you need to start doing this. What I would simply do is when a sale happens, that customer's info gets put into some automation where we send them a team video with the story of the company, with the coolest project you've just completed, with an educational video like this one that you're doing here. And the goal here is really just to indoctrinate someone into what we're doing and why we're doing it. So they can get to know us, so they can see what we're up to besides just the project that we're talking about with them. What this does is, again, it builds that word of mouth and referrals, because we're building stronger loyalty to your customers, to your company, because they're learning about you, your story, what you do, and it becomes more than just a transaction, but hopefully they start to buy into the brand. And when you deliver a great service or a great product, they stick around for a long time. So to wrap it up, we have 2 things that you need to do on a monthly or quarterly basis with those first 2 emails that I talked about. And the third thing is a one-time automation to set up. And my recommendation is that you commit to some kind of schedule, that after watching this, if this resonated, if I don't have a plan, my email marketing has been reactive, that you put something on your calendar for next month or next quarter of when you're gonna do these 2 emails. My share something interesting email on this, I'm gonna do my invite email on this date, and commit to doing that so that when you look back a year from now, you can see that your word of mouth and referrals have stayed strong and they've improved because you stayed in better contact with your past customers. So get a system, commit to a process, and I know that you're going to improve that key lead source in your business.